Hello, today I am here to talk to you about ageism and how dumb it is to actually include that in your lore, especially lore to do with immortal beings. Anyway, so I have ranted about this in my streams before, but if you read the statement on Beckett's Wikipedia as well, this kind of statement just kind of stayed with me for a while, and I was like, you know what, if I'm ranting about it on streams, I may as well do a separate video. And yes, Myrta is spending her time investigating video games and ranting about ageism in man-created worlds, mostly because we have so internalized to need to stay forever 21 that it is bleeding into our fantasy, and I really don't get it, because people look so good in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and even their 60s. It can't even be a sexual thing. It has to be an anti-wrinkle aging cream advertisement thing. It has to be a makeup thing. It has to be a Hollywood thing at most, honestly. I really don't get it. And I really don't get why these kind of things are bleeding into our fantasy as well. While his age of embrace is never confirmed, different game scenarios state him between his late 20s to his late 30s. Once again, in info on Beckett. This would make him about a decade to a decade and a half older than most kindred are when they're embraced. So effectively now I'm placing most kindred between the age of 20 and 25. Because we're definitely not gonna be placing them between 15 and 20. That would be silly. This would explain why one of his pet peeves is being derogatorily called old. Now, first of all, dear systems, why would you see any of these pictures as old? This is all art of who looks at this and goes old? Secondly, who goes, I can definitely tell the difference between a 29-year-old and a 20-year-old. How does that happen? Thirdly, let's say that you died at 20 and you looked really young at the age of your death. You would have actually looked better at 30. Honestly, you would, because people kind of plumb out and they become more mature and their figure becomes more mature. And a lot of people that people think are really young are not. For one thing, your sense of dress style takes a while to develop. Figuring out what looks good on you takes a while to develop, so most people that look good in media, they're not in their teens. They're just not in their teens. So I don't understand this fascination with age cult, nor do I understand why that would run in immortal society, nor why that statement exists. Because if you remember how Tremere were made, there were some old-ass magicians that wanted to be immortal and their immortality potions weren't working anymore. And when they ended up being immortal, their avatars dropped, meaning that the only appearance that they had were the ones that they had originally. They couldn't pretend to be anyone else but themselves. You telling me that these people were drinking immortality potions and forever looking like they're 21? For one thing, such a thing would take time to make. And if you're investing yourself into magic sciences and you make it, you're not gonna be giving it to every whippersnapper acolyte. I would expect most of that clan to look like they're in their 50s, if not more. Where's that most coming from, and why? 19-year-olds barely know how to live. They're just there out of high school. They don't have a lot of... Well, they do have interesting thoughts, but they're carrying a lot of naivete that you just kind of drop as time continues. They're carrying a lot of not knowing how the world works. Why would you have that rule in immortal society? Now, just to make a statement about real-life ageism, this ran on my timeline a few days ago, and I was like, that's gonna be perfect for a video. Hey, everyone on stream or Twitter, how old are you? I'm trying to see something. Scardy Ginge goes with 31. She is a very attractive woman. She has children, by the way. I'm 26, 27, 28, 33, 31, 33, 36, 37, 35, 51, 32, 31, 30, 40, then 42, 34, 26, 34, 41, 38. For God's sakes, Dr. Disrespect is either in his late 30s or early 40s. Majority of people that stream on Twitch are not 16-year-old children. Majority of people that go to Comic-Con conventions are not 16-year-old children. You're looking at people from their mid to late 20s to people in their 50s. Because guess what? Your hobbies don't go away. You don't suddenly die at 21, and as people age, it's so ingrained into them to hate the process of aging that a lot don't find any reasons to live anymore past a certain age. So like we know that the age 27 is pretty cursed because people like to, I don't know, make a statement by ending their life at that point. And the thing is, if you just continue living, life does not end. Your hobbies do not end. Who makes you does not end. And who you become does not necessarily look unattractive. Like, my husband made a point that Richard E. Grant, he didn't quite look right as a young man. He didn't look all that attractive, honestly. And then, the more he aged, the better he looked. It's like wrinkles can decorate you, gray hair can decorate you. It gives you a sense of a journey. It gives you a sense of charisma. It honestly decorates you. If you look at really young people as well, they tend to be like stick thin, and I'm not saying that when people age they get obese. It's like their figures expand. For men especially, it's neck muscles, like leg muscles. It's like their shoulders broaden. My own figure changed significantly as well. I'm broader in my hip area and in my upper area. I looked a lot more stick-like when I was a teen. Outside of that, not much has changed to a point where people place my age between 16 and 45, and it's like, yep, you can continue placing my age there for a very long time because it's just gonna fit. But yes, I don't understand it. I don't understand our fascination with very young age, and it definitely does not fit in societies of immortals who would think, because they have no more sexual drive, would favor the person's usefulness rather than their appearance. And surely their usefulness, for the most part, increases with age as they pick up skills and they get good at what they do. Not... What are you even using people out of high school for? That's probably makes pretty good foot soldiers, but that's about it, honestly. I don't get it. I don't get it why people write fantasies that way, and I don't get what is our own fascination with being afraid of aging. I don't understand. Maybe it's the plastic surgery camp. Maybe it's the cosmetics camp. Maybe it's the anti-aging cream camp. I am just here to tell you that life does not end as you age. It just kinda gets enriched. And maybe you should just leave all of them products on the shelf. Look however the heck you want. As outrageous as you want. And anyways, my dinner's about to arrive, so this is Myrta gonna be checking out. Just please don't do this if you're gonna be setting up your own fantasy settings with your own rich story and lore. I do not see what purpose you would have for overly young people, honestly. Yeah, they kinda look good, but they kinda look better 10 years later, and you would definitely not be commenting on a 29-year-old's age What the hell, World of Darkness? What the hell?